Hey guys, it has been a hot minute since I have done a video, so let's start off 2020 by checking out some of my 2019 favorites.
Shut up and sit down.
I have a lot of stuff here, you guys. There's a ton of stuff on this desk, so let's just jump right into it. First thing I really liked this year is the e.l.f. Jelly Pop Dew Primer. When they launched this collection, I was over the moon ecstatic because everything was like watermelon, and I love watermelon. This is like the best primer I think I've used this year. Close second by the Wet n Wild Jelly Primer. This one has taken the cake for me, and I absolutely love it. Foundation. So I am a foundation whore. I love foundation, and I will constantly try new foundations. But my new favorites have been the Smith & Colt Veiled Threat Foundation and the Pure Love Your Selfie Foundation. These two make you look flawless. Super lightweight, super full coverage, and I could not ask for anything better. This one obviously is a little too dark for me. It was my summer shade. This one is a little too light for me, but mix them together and I have like the ultimate foundation. How cool is that, right? Moving on to concealer. There were two concealers that I really liked this year. One was the Colourpop No Filter Concealer, and I have no words, but it's awesome. I love the way it lays down on the skin. I love the way it blends out. It looks flawless. It looks beautiful. You can use it with foundation or without foundation. So if you're not one who likes to use a lot of full coverage foundation, this is definitely really good for spot treating as well. Then for a full coverage concealer, the e.l.f. Camo Concealer. I don't know when e.l.f. got so amazing, but obviously it's been within the last few years because between that concealer, this concealer, that primer, and a couple of their other products that have come out, like I'm shook with e.l.f. They did just have a hydrating version of this concealer come out or is coming out or recently came out, and I'm super excited to try that because this can be a little drying if you have super dry skin, so keep an eye out for that. Moving on to powders. The Coty Airspun has been my go-to powder, like translucent, yet you get extra coverage with it. However, it can be a little drying. So if I am less hydrated than I would like to be, I'm really enjoying this Makeup Revolution's Hydra Matte powder. The only thing that I don't like about it is that it does have this little mesh fabric in the middle of it. And what you do is you like take your sponge or your powder puff and you press it on there, and then product gets on the puff and then you apply it. The problem is you only get like a circle like that big of it. So you're constantly having to go over, and it doesn't work so well with a brush. So I have to figure out how to get this well out so I can just like dip it into here. But I love the way it makes my skin feel. Like I would say it's very comparable to the Becca hydrating powder. I tend to like this one a little bit better. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Have you tried either one? Let me know what you think. Moving on to blush. I have been having a hard time finding blush that does not have shimmer. I don't like a shimmer blush. I don't like a shimmer bronzer. So finding things that are matte and for my skin tone has been increasingly difficult. I did really enjoy the Urban Decay Afterglow blush in Fetish, and their highlighter in Sin. They have been my go-to. Like I've been using them almost religiously every time I do my makeup just because I think they're really pretty and they last a hell of a long time. The other one that I'm really actually liking is the Ofra and the Madison Miller blush in Sweet Stuff, and I received this in my TBT Ofra box, and I've been using it ever since I got that. Like, I love it so much. I love that it's not super pigmented, so you do build it up, but it's not so light that it takes you forever. So, way to go, Ofra. Highlighters. Another big one for me is highlights. I do love all kinds of highlighters. I have like a whole drawer full of just highlighters. But for this particular video, I'm gonna have to go with the Ofra Nikki Tutorials Trio. I use Space Baby here, which is like a crystal blue kind of color on my inner corners when I do most of my eye looks. And then right here, Glazed Donut is my everyday face highlight. Like, I cannot live without this color. Glow Getter is a little too dark for me, and it's a little too golden. So I tend to only use that one on my eyes when I'm doing an eye look. But other than that, like, this has been my favorite highlighters ever. Moving on to mascara. All right. The Kat Von D Go Big Go Home mascara, I actually really enjoy it. I know some people didn't really like it. I didn't have any issues with it, considering my eyebrows or my eyelashes are really, really horrible. I found it worked. It made my eyelashes look a bit more full than they do on a normal basis. Same thing with the Milk Makeup Kush mascara. I found out that, like, when I use this, I don't know if it has like an eyelash treatment in here, but when I use this, the more I use it, the better my lashes look when I'm not wearing mascara. Am I the only one? Let me know. But this is another one that I really liked. Talking about eyeliners, I use 2 different eyeliners in every look, always. I have a liquid liner for the top, and then I use a pencil liner for the bottom. My bottom pencil liner has been the LA Girl Glide On Gel pencil, and I just can't get away from it. It's so pigmented, it's so dark, it lasts for forever, and I love it. I love it. For the top liner, it has been the NYX Epic Ink or the Kat Von D Dagger liner. I know a lot of people didn't like the Dagger liner. I don't know if it was because of the way that the brush tip is shaped. It does have an angle, which actually makes it a lot easier for me when I'm doing my wing liner and to get into the inner corner, like right in here, where sometimes it just doesn't look cute when you mess up. This has been really good for me for that. The Epic Ink Liner, I've actually purchased 4 of them just this year because I use them every day, all the time, and I love it. All right, moving through bronzers and contour. I really don't change my bronzer or my contour very much. I do have a couple of bronzers, but to me, they always tend to make me look a little orange. So I try to stay away from most of them. I did like the Benefit Hoola bronzer, and the Hoola Light was actually even better for me. But I've actually been really enjoying the NARS Laguna bronzer. It doesn't make me look super orange, and I feel like it's just very easy to build up so you can get the warmth that you want without having to have this like brown streak on your face and then not blending it out or whatnot. I've had some horror stories, that's for sure. Then what I would do is after I bronze up the face, I tend to go back in with contour, and for that I use my Kat Von D Shade and Light contour palette. There are 3 colors in here and 3 highlighters in here. I tend to use the highlighters as an under eye setting powder because it just works really well for me. But Subconscious and Shadow Play have been the 2 colors that I've been using probably for 3 years with this palette because I can't seem to find another cool tone contour that I like as much. Moving on to palettes. There have been like a million palettes coming out this year, and it's very hard to narrow it down because I have a ton of palettes. But I do have 3 that I absolutely really loved, and one of which is the Morphe Jeffree Star palette. I was waiting on this palette to come out, and I'm super excited that it did. I mean, how pretty is that? I love the greens. I love the pinks. I love all the different colors that you get in here. You can do a neutral color and you can have fun with different pops of colors. So way to go on that. Next favorite is going to be the Hit the Lights palette. Yes, all of my favorites have been Morphe this year. Shh. The Hit the Lights palette, I just love that there's such an array of colors and you can literally do like any look that you want. Like you have your neutrals, you have reds, you have neons, you have mattes, you have pressed glitters. Like I love it. Absolutely love it. And then the last one that I have to say has been my favorite is the Such a Gem palette. I can't get over it. I used it and use it and use it and use it. I like that it is more purple and pink tone than reds. So the Hit the Lights palette, you do have a wide array of options, but for me, I think this one I like better because I tend to use this whole side of the palette more because it does have the purples and the pinks and the cool tones. But then I also really love this bronzy pressed glitter here. It's really, really pretty. So it was really hard because I really do love my Colourpop Mar palette and It's Your Pleasure palette. Those have been like amazing, and Rendevouz was really awesome. But I feel like Morphe has upped their game with their palettes recently. I don't know if maybe it just seems that way because I have a lot of Morphe palettes, but they all seemed very neutral. So these ones that have a huge pop of color, like I absolutely love. They were awesome. Last thing I want to talk about is some of my favorite brushes and tools this year. I was a huge fan of the Beauty Blunders, and I do really like them, but for some reason, the Real Techniques blending sponges have been better for me. I don't know what it is. I like that they have the flattened edge. Please ignore my dirty beauty blender from today. But I love that there's a flat edge and that it's got a really nice point so I can get right into my under eye area. I mean, for the price, I think I paid like $8 for two or something around that area. And I just absolutely love them. I don't know. I don't get it. I love Beauty Blender. And I love the Morphe ones. But for me, I just keep going back to the Real Techniques ones. Another one that I want to mention is this this VMV Hypoallergenics Instant No Rinse Hypoallergenic Brush Cleaner. I love a waterless brush cleaner. It makes things easy when I'm going back and forth and I'm using different colors or really dark colors to really bright colors and I don't have a million brushes. I just give it a few spritz of this, run it across the towel, and it's almost instantly dry. So it's absolutely amazing. I love that it's hypoallergenic because I have sensitive skin, so things like this really tend to break me out. This did not. So I will continue to purchase that. And I think the last thing that I have has to be the Garnier Skin Active Micellar Water. I have a lot of makeup removers that I've used. I really like the Clinique Take Off the Day. I really like a lot of other ones out there, but I feel like this one isn't as heavy on my face. It doesn't feel like it has oils in it, but it almost has the same effect of an oil. Like it gets rid of my liquid lipsticks, it gets rid of my tattoo liner, it gets rid of my really, really deep eyeshadow colors. It even works on the pinks and the reds eyeshadow that leave the stains on your eyes. Yeah, it is a thing. This definitely does get rid of it. So I am in love with this. All right. I think that's all I have for you guys. If you have any of your favorites that you would like to let me know about, please leave them in the comments below, and I will be more than happy to check them out. Also, I will link everything down in the description, so if there's anything you're wanting to check out, you can easily do so. And I will see all of you in the next video. Bye.